Do you think that the Long Branch Police was very insensitive to this situation? Do you feel like if it was anybody else, that they would have got a handle on it like real quick? And did they ever come to you, Mrs. Anderson, and said they were sorry for what had happened to your son?
Yes, I think they were insensitive, especially if what I heard to be a rumor is the truth as far as there needs to be a body. No one came to me directly because I wasn't living in Long Branch, and Adrian was living with his father, and they had, most of the people believed that I was down south in Virginia, but I was here. And yes, I believe that if we was in some other neighborhood and it wasn't one of our children, that there would have been a different result.
So Mrs. Anderson, I know you've been through a lot.
Yes.
And how do you feel about not getting any support from the NAACP?
It's a shocker because I have not heard not one word, not a peep. Nobody tried to seek me out. It's like I'm invisible. This didn't happen. And I've known the president all my life. So, and I know he knows me, and I don't know why he didn't reach out to me, especially because, you know, this is something that, with so much going on, what you have to do so much, is something that is unexpected in your life. While other people's life goes on, your life pauses. It still goes on, but it pauses. And he knows the family, and he could have reached out to any member of the family to get in touch with me, but he didn't. And it's just shocking. It's hurtful because, you know, we all grew up together.
So, how do you feel about the role of the NAACP today?
They're not for me. They can't be for me, because for something like this to happen, and happen in the town amongst all us families that grew up together, and to be unheard, unsought after, it's more than a direct smack. But I can't run behind them because I have to bury my son and tie up all the loose ends, and that may never be resolved, because what do you do with death but accept it? And that's the only thing I can do. I feel like I was duped, plain and simple, because how did we go from there's so much evidence to there's no evidence, and 15 years for a first-degree murder being reduced to, stop it please, being reduced to aggravated assault, being the cause of the reason why my son is killed, but not really killing my son. How do you not really kill him, but he's dead? And I had to agonize over that because I had no other choice. I wasn't given anything else. Had I known what was offered to the defendant, I would have gone for the trial. But I know that it's said that 40 years is but a day to God, and 15 years in man's time is nothing, but in God's time there's no space or time, and it can be an eternity. So I resolved to leave it in God's hands. Although I'm still not happy with it, I would have liked more time, but no time will bring him back. And so I'm just going to continue to raise the children that God had tasked me to raise. Please be quiet. And that will be all I can do, and try to raise these children to the best of my ability, because the oldest one rather, Courtney, she remembers her father and she misses him, and she has night frights, and it's a challenge, but my love and the help of God will see us through, and the family, because we have a very good supportive family. They love us, we love them, and we're just going to move forward as we can best.
So with that being said, and I know you have voiced your thoughts and opinion about your son's death. What do you want to say to the people of Long Branch? What do you want to say to them and all the stuff that's going there, including the lack of police protection unless there's a body found? What do you want to say to these people?
Long Branch is not Long Branch. There is no Long Branch. There's no loyalty. There's no value. There's nothing there. It's like a ghost town. Everything has been taken from us that we've ever worked hard for, that my older sisters and brothers marched at City Hall for us to have, whether it was the government help that we got to keep these programs open so that our children could have something to do, so that the streets and the gangs weren't calling their names and the grave wasn't open to them. Now we have nothing for our children, and these gangs are running amok, and these people, politicians that are in charge of overseeing the city are doing nothing. Are doing nothing but allowing these things to happen. Another one gone. These children are our children, whether it's the child that's being murdered or the child that's being taken to jail for committing the murder. If you take everything from them, you give them no hope, no nothing. There's no jobs for them. There's nothing positive in Long Branch for our children. But I do know that Mr. Farina was trying to make a difference. And when he put the schools in the neighborhoods that had the most problems, it sent a message to those that understood. But for those that didn't understand, didn't want their children out. They want my children to come in the hood. Why? We need education too, and we want a good education just like everybody else, and we are capable of achieving the highest and being good people and good citizens and helping, but not if all hope and life is taken from us. And our children are suffocating. So we have good schools, or we had better schools, we had a better quality of life, but now there's nothing but doom and death. I want to thank Unheard Voices for coming out and giving me this opportunity to do this interview with them. And they're the only ones that have reached out to help me. And I really appreciate it. And you have been watching Unheard Voices. Thank you. God bless.